What's up, everybody? How you doing? We're gonna be breaking down these charts today. I've got a bunch of coins that I've been stacking into. That's right, I started stacking this morning. I want to break down exactly what I'm looking at for, capturing these gains in this bull market coming. I'm gonna tell you why I bought. I ignored some of the TA on some of them, and there's a good reason for it. I'm gonna show you exactly what's going on, what I'm stacking into. You can see I'm gonna show you the exact portfolio. My goal for this portfolio is in the multi-hundred thousands, and I think it's at an affordable level. So everybody, as you are rolling in, share something. Don't be a stickler. Don't be too cool for school. Share something that you're grateful for this morning. Let everybody know. It might remind us, oh, I didn't think of that. I'm grateful for that too. Let's start with a positive place in our head and heart before we dive into this and talk about money. Because money is only one component of life, but we got to have a healthy head, healthy heart, healthy spirit. So I hope you're all doing good. Everybody, let's welcome each other. How you doing? Good morning and good afternoon and good night. Hope you're all feeling well. Let's hit that like button. Let's tickle this stream to get it going and get pushed out to more people. Hope you're all feeling well. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. So let's get your pencils out, take some notes, figure out what your strategy is. Are you in line with it? Are you following the rules? If you're not following your own rules and you're just jumping in on emotion, you're just going to be donating your money to the game. Time for 25 push-ups, baby. Man, I shouldn't be so out of breath, but I'm getting it back in gear, stepping back on the path. Let's be healthy. Let's be happy. Let's be wealthy. Let's do it together. Shout out Alexander G, $5 super chat. Big love to you. I appreciate it. Anytime somebody sends a super chat or joins as a member, I love you. I appreciate you. Every dollar helps keep this going, helps us improve what we're doing, helps us also show some love to the community. Big love to you. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's time to turn it on, baby. Let's get it. We got to talk about these altcoins. I started stacking in heavy today, and I'm going to show you exactly what I bought, what I'm going to also continue buying into. And there's going to be obviously other coins. And if something's left out, doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means it hasn't got into that portfolio yet. And there's going to be other coins we're going to be looking at as well. But shouldn't be so out of breath from those 25 push-ups. But you know what that is? Rather than lament on that, that's just a signal to me. I need to stay in better shape. That's what we're doing. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want to be wealthy. And we are going to do that together here as a community at BitLab. Hope you're all doing well. As you roll in, I want to see you guys share something you're grateful for in the live chat. Might be a reminder to all of us. We didn't think about that. Maybe I should practice more gratitude for family or for mobility or for health, whatever it is. Let's start with the place of positivity. We're going to be talking about these charts. We're going to be talking about some stuff here in the market portfolio that I started building, as you can see today, actually yesterday, and then really started layering into today. And we're going to be talking about some other things on the market. What's going on with Bitcoin, coiling into a particular zone. A couple things in terms of liquidation levels that we need to be paying attention to, as well as some other things in the market. So before we do that, how you doing? How you feeling? Everybody, ask each other how you doing. Where are you tuned in from? Let's see if we can tie any of our community together. Maybe some of you guys are right down the street from each other. So what city, what state, what country? Are you feeling good today? Are you having a hard day? Are you having a good day? Is it just a day? This should be a community, not just a place of talking about money objects. We're using money objects to make the rest of our life improve, right? So let's remember that when we're entering these charts. And remember, life is a game. Life's an experiment. And I'm happy that I can be in this experiment with all of you, growing with you. Now, before we get going, my name is Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the show. If this is your first time, I really hope it's not your last time. Join us. Look down below the video right now. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button. And if it doesn't say subscribed, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you get notifications when we go live. I see we got a lot of members here right now. We got Ninja Forth and Alexander G and Isaac Does Crypto, new member. Also, a new member of our team here at BitLab Academy, doing a bunch of social media stuff and helping with some back-end stuff. Wonderful guy, young guy, knows more about crypto than some people I know that are my age or even older, have even been in longer. I'm very happy to have him on the team. Studio Durdonk, what's up? How you doing? See, we got a lot of regulars in the house. Crimson Caravan, Donato Cabrera, all of you fine folks in the house. I just want to say I appreciate and love all of you. And thank you again, Alexander G, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Now, before we really dive into this, I just want to say, make sure we will be doing a giveaway at the end of this week, 2 days from now. So on this post right here on @Academy BitLab, hit that retweet, hit that like button. You will be entered just by doing that. Sharing this community with your friends through your social media. Just by hitting that retweet and like, you're going to be entered to win. We'll be drawing randomly from a random day and then a random name drawer from that day to see who will get the giveaway that we're doing this week. And I'll announce what that giveaway is tomorrow. I think you're going to very much appreciate it. Again, also make sure you're following me at Kelly Kellum, KELLYKELLAM. Now, what are we talking about today? Well, I just thought this was interesting. Cumulative flows in all Bitcoin funds and gold ETF holdings. Now, don't worry. We are going to get into those altcoins. I'm going to show you what I picked. I'm going to show you why. And but I just figure before we dive into all those altcoins and really get that roadmap going, I just want to remember, before we dive into what we're doing any day in the markets, in terms of like specifically on an asset or specific action, we should always zoom out and look at a little bit of context and then zoom in and find our triggers. So this is just a good, regardless of what happens with price, even if price pulls back right now, this is phenomenal to see cumulative flows. Look, Bitcoin held relatively steady. I mean, this was a launch back here. No, hold on a second. Bitcoin funds. Yeah. So this is back in 2019 here. And so these are the Bitcoin funds. Look at this money flowing in to the Bitcoin funds here. And then of course we had a long stable period here sideways. And then right coming into the beginning of, into 2023, into the beginning of 2024, this is that launch of those ETFs. So we are seeing a huge divergence here between gold and Bitcoin. The question is going to be, is this going to be something that is endeavored that's going to persist this way? Or are we going to see some dips along the way? We're just going to have to keep our eye on it. But I just think it's interesting. I don't want to say the confidence, but the money flow, which could in some ways be looked at as a vote of confidence, has been dropping on gold ETF holdings while Bitcoin funds have been moving to the upside. Even through all that bear market, look at this flat level of capital held through all that. So just, I thought that was very interesting in terms of the context of this narrative shift that's happening over time with Bitcoin, especially as it's becoming more pervasive through all these huge money market managers BlackRock, Fidelity, etc., speaking positively about Bitcoin and actually opening their own Bitcoin spot ETFs. That this is going to be something we're going to see over time. This narrative shift more and more, and those that are in early are going to benefit the most. And all of you, hit that like button right now if you haven't, because you are all in early. If you got in before these institutions, before the rest of the world, hit that like button, because that's where we're at right now. We see gold is already not performing anywhere near as good as Bitcoin. So is it a digital gold? Sure, but it's obviously different in many contexts and also newer, and it serves so many different utilities that we don't see on gold as well. So I do think we're going to see a huge increase in the flow of capital into Bitcoin and crypto projects over this next 2 years. Now, this is one of the things I want to talk about. We're going to be jumping into the charts here fairly soon, but I wanted to just give that context. 3-day Bollinger Bands. This is from Matthew Hyland. If you're not following him, go give him a follow. But looking at this, Bollinger Bands, you essentially have, typically he has it turned off here. You have a moving average in the middle, which is a 20 moving average. And then these two bands basically take an average of what's going on the price over the last 20 periods. So this is on 3 days. So you're getting two standard deviations, or 95% likelihood of where the price action may go, both upper and lower bounds here, based on what the price action was doing in the previous 20 period. And this is a 3 days, so 20 candles on the 3 day, and you're getting an example. And when you get these squeezes, this is also another measurement, BBW, Bollinger Band width. When this comes down, you can see this is also correlated with the Bollinger Bands constricting. What we get in markets is cyclical action from price go up, then price go down, then it comes up. Also, similarly, when you have an expansion of volatility, you're going to likely have a point of volatility constriction, and vice versa. When we're getting a point of constriction, this is what we really want to pay attention to right now. This point of constriction, meaning lack of volatility, price action being flat. You build this strength to really have a large move. Now, everybody wants to believe that means it's going to go up. It doesn't necessarily. We can see right here, constriction, and then we broke down from here. Constriction, we broke down. Constriction broke up. So it's all going to be in the context of where we're at in the market cycle and what the narrative is on this market. Now, again, we're going to be diving into a bunch of altcoins here in a moment, but I just want to pay attention to what's going on with Bitcoin, because it is going to still, in many ways, lead what this narrative is going to be in the market. And so we want to pay attention to the fact of two things. We have a constricting Bollinger Bands right here. We can also see this by this measurement right here, BBW. You can type it in on I almost said Instagram. You could type it in on your TradingView. The BBW, Bollinger Band width oscillator, will come up. And when you get this very low metric, it means that a large move is likely coming. Now, there's some signs that suggest that this could be moving down. And just on price action alone, we see the price action pushing to the upside and having a lower low followed currently by a lower high. This is indicative of price action more likely than not coming to the downside. Now, when we get back over to this chart that we just shared a second ago, we're seeing increased interest in what's going on in Bitcoin. And we also know where we're at within the time cycle, the market cycle of where the Bitcoin halving is. There is some speculation that, we're just going to, break the historical trend of having a large sell-off before the halving. Now, when we get over onto the chart, though, and let's look at this on the 3 day. When we look over this on the chart, I just want to point out that we did get a fairly large move so far. This is about a 20%, 21, 22% move from here to here. Now, we've seen many 20% moves already in this cycle to the downside. The speculation here, the uncertainty that is lying in the chart right now, is that nothing is guaranteed. No historical pattern, no market cycle, no, we must get 40% or more dump before the halving, because there's also many people are still betting on that. But then there's the other contingent of the market, the bulls that are seeing all this underlying bullishness about all these fundamental changes. And I don't want to call them upgrades, but improvements on access to Bitcoin, which is what the ETFs are. Capital that now has the ability to flow into Bitcoin, right? And say, well, there's more of an indication here on the fundamental side that maybe this 20% is this diminishing returns, diminishing volatility argument that people have been making for years. As the market gets bigger, we're going to get smaller movements. So there's an argument to be made that this is the downside we are going to get. We may trade sideways here and then push up, but it's still 50-50 on all this. But what I want to point out here is when we look at what I want to point out here, let me come over to this chart right here. Just zoom out on this monthly chart. Is these halvings have historically seen these sell-offs coming into the time frame of when the halving has been. We had sell-off here, sell-off here. In this case, we had a large sell-off here and then the black swan. In this case here, we have had a couple sell-offs. We had that 20% pullback here. We had a 20% pullback here, and we've already had a 20% pullback here. And again, this question is this going to be satisfactory to the market makers and the big money players that are now involved? Or is the pressure, the buying pressure, already growing so much that any movement to the downside is going to get bought up? This is what we're always debating in this market when we're trying to figure out what to do. And so what I did, and I want you all to pay attention to this, I basically set up about a $25,000 altcoin portfolio. Started buying yesterday. It was a very small amount, like 2,000. And today I dropped in the rest. And I wanted to do something that goes against some of the things that I know because I am a technical analyst. I do understand on-chain data. I do understand market cycles. And putting all those things together, I wanted to simplify it and basically use essentially a market cycle position strategy and say you don't have to look at every 15-minute chart with 47 indicators to pull the perfect trigger. The caveat with this is if you want to basically be somebody that is trying to take advantage of this type of market movement right here. If we come over here, let's go to total. Let's go to total 3. Total 3. We're going to actually, let's do total 2 so we can include Ethereum. This is Ethereum. This is the entire crypto market minus Bitcoin. If you're trying to take advantage of this movement here, right here, you're trying to take advantage of this movement here. Maybe you don't have a lot of time to trade. Maybe you're trying to share information with a friend who knows nothing about crypto and they're just trusting your word. And remember, do not be a financial advisor to your friends and family. Point them in a direction and help them learn how to do their own diligence because I'll tell you what, a lot of times they don't understand the volatility that is in this market. So if you are going to be a position trader, meaning you're buying into an area and you're taking a position for many months, like, you know, multiple quarters into 1 to 3 year type of position. In this case, this right here is, let's see how long that is. That is that's basically a year and a half. So 549 days. And then this one right here was to this top here, 518 days. So what we're getting into right now is this next zone, which is right here, option V. I can't show that because I don't have my, there we go. So this next cycle move to the upside. Let's go ahead and mark this out. Let's go when you press the space bar, by the way, not space, shift, and click on the chart holding shift, you immediately get a measurement tool. So rather than having to go over here to the left. So coming here, let's just do this. 545, let's do 500 days. 518 days, option V there. So we basically have that sort of time frame that maybe we're looking at taking a position to whatever happens here. If you're taking a position, then you're doing it with the idea of what the time frame is in mind that you have to take the position and exit the position. So in this case right here, say we're buying somewhere in this zone and, you know, we're checking once a week, or maybe we're buying, maybe we can't help ourselves. Throw a 1 in chat if you find yourself checking your portfolio 11 times a day. We've all done it. But if you're doing this and you're trying to ride this movement up here, okay, and I don't think it's going to get up to 27 trillion like I just drew. Let's see, maybe somewhere in this region here. If your target is somewhere in this zone right here, then you can take a position, ignore the volatility, and have the stones, have the patience to let things mature over time and realize that if you're starting to take your position here, you're okay. If you zoom in on this, you're okay with the market having a pullback. Look at this moving average right here, this 20 moving average right here on the BitLab trading stack. Say we're starting to take positions here like I did yesterday and today, and this drops. I am aware of my time frame between here and the next, between there and the next year and a half, 400 to 600 day period, which is roughly about the time period we've seen in the previous two cycles from the Bitcoin halving to when the bull market peaked. So I'm looking at somewhere in this region, maybe about, somewhere in this region, I'll be looking at then potentially starting to scale out. So what I'm saying here is I'm going to show you, I want to give you this context before I show you what these coins are. I basically threw my capital at the board in a thoughtful way between different types of protocols that cover different sectors with various ranges of market caps, basically getting exposure as if I would if I don't want to say didn't know technical analysis, but taking it on a position that's going to be low stress and I have my time frame and strategy in mind. Does that make sense? Throw a 1 in chat if this is something you want to see. Let me know what coins you think it is. If you're in the BitLab Discord, don't say what they are because you already got the list. That's one of the benefits of being in the BitLab Discord. But what coins do you think? And I'm broadly positioned. Now, I will also say this before I show you these coins. I am not suggesting you copy this portfolio and just mimic this along the way, but you could take some notes from it. Maybe there's some things that surprise you. Maybe there's some things that you're like, I can't believe he's in that. And again, this is not an exhaustive list of everything I'm interested in. This just covers a broad range of things that is, I think, mildly to somewhat very risky. So take that in mind before I show you these. And again, I'm not suggesting you buy any of these. I'm just giving you an example. And we're going to ride this. We're going to ride this with very minimal changes over the next year and a half to see what can happen with, a $25,000 investment, sort of, I don't want to say hands-off approach, but we took our shot. We have our strategy. We know our time frame. Let's see what happens. So getting back over in here, I'm going to show you a little bit of the ones that I was looking at. Let's see. Ben Simone said ICP link near Arbitrum, Matic, Filecoin, GRT, ADA. Hey, man, you're pretty close on a lot of those. Let's see what else we got in there. Yeah, you guys are, new member, Deborah Archer. How you doing? How you feeling? Thank you for being here. Everybody hit that like button. If you want to see the list, every single one of you hit the like button to show some love. Let's go ahead and break it down. But this is the list right here. So we can see very heavily weighted. You see this not portfolio, pie graph. Again, I want to reinstill. I want to re-say this is a riskier play portfolio. This portfolio, and if this is your only portfolio, I don't necessarily recommend this to you. This portfolio has no Bitcoin in it, but I already have Bitcoin in my longer-term hold portfolio. So this is an aggressive altcoin portfolio that I'm basically position trading these coins for the next year and a half. And if I make any changes, I'll let you know in the Discord, and I will periodically let you guys know here on the stream as well. But looking at this, what do we got? We got Avalanche, Cardano, Link, Ethereum. And notice Ethereum is actually smaller than these other layer one solutions and this, Oracle project here. But in all honesty, I'll tell you what, I should have a lot more Ethereum in this portfolio, but I have Ethereum in my long-term portfolio. So understand that. One, this portfolio specifically is a medium to high risk altcoin portfolio. I'm looking to position trade for pretty heavy exposure to risk, but mitigated in some ways. I couldn't not put Ethereum in this portfolio because we have the Ethereum ETF on the horizon in May. And in addition to that, it'd just be stupid not to have it even in a medium to high risk portfolio, because you should have this weighted. And I wanted to make sure that I had at least 50% of my portfolio in higher market cap coins within this ecosystem. So it is weighted a little bit less risky. Now, I have the most Avalanche, and this is just my own thesis. I could be wrong. I have a lot of Avalanche in here because I have a sneaking suspicion. I don't have any insider information. I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be some a broad range of partnerships. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a dream I had. It's just the way the chain works, the scalability of it, and the sort of tech community around it. And I don't mean like the community of us, people that are holding. I'm talking about paying attention to what developers and integrations and stuff like that are happening on Avalanche. I expect that they're going to have a lot of partnerships that are going to develop over the next few years, in addition to the fact that this is a layer one, basically protocol, right? That also has the ability that I think is going to have a lot of crossover with real world tokenization, real world asset tokenization. So that's why I have this one the heaviest in this. And then we have Cardano, because Cardano is one of those, I don't want to call it a sleeper project, but it goes quiet for a while and doesn't move a lot, and people get irritated and they stop talking about it. But the community is there silently, not slumbering, but they're the dev community. You know, Cardano and Polkadot. I don't want to say pick between the two, but Cardano and Polkadot both have a huge amount of development on it. I don't have any Polkadot in this portfolio. I do have Polkadot in my other portfolio, which is why I don't have it in this one. But also, Cardano has a huge amount of development on it, and I think that Cardano is going to be a very strong performer when it starts running. And then, of course, Link. How can you not have Link in this portfolio? How can you not have Link in a portfolio that not only you're trying to balance your risk exposure, meaning how likely is it that a coin is going to go to zero? How likely is it a coin, the asymmetrical risk of it potentially going up? And the fact that Link is the absolute, not only dominant, but almost on its own pedestal of an Oracle project that ties together the entire crypto ecosystem, as well as different assets and data and all these things outside of blockchain as well, pulling in data sets from the real world into the blockchain that can provide you absolute, basically believable, trustless fact for, it could be monetary, it could be price, sports scores, it could be. But then this has also had some integrations with what's going on with the Federal Reserve and not Federal Reserve, sorry, SWIFT and other things like that, in addition to some real world token, real world asset tokenization type of applications as well. This is, I think Link far underperformed last cycle. And if we come back out to this and let's come over here, let's look at Link on the charts. There we go. So Link on the charts. Oh, look at that. This is okay, monthly. Yeah. I thought this was on a smaller time frame. I was like, damn, it just pumped. 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. So previous cycle top, double click on this. Previous cycle top up here in the mid 50s, 52, 53. Okay. Look at how beautiful the BitLab trading stack was calling these trend shifts back down and the reversals back up. Boom, 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 boom. Little boom there. Called the bottom, comes down into the trend shift, traded in the channel, pushing up. But I think this is back here. Yes, this was a pretty large move. But in terms of the application and utility of Chainlink over the next 30 years and the ways it's going to be integrated, makes it, to me, very heavily, needs to be a very heavily considered asset to have in any crypto portfolio. Whether you have only 2 coins, whether you have, only 4 coins, 100 coins, if you don't have Chainlink in your portfolio, again, do your own diligence. But I think I think you're missing the bigger picture about what diligence is and what looking for things that are going to have utility, that the utility expands and also has a high chance of growing adoption and use case, right? So whether or not it's sexy to you because it's an infrastructure play, the fact is it needs to be utilized, it will be utilized, and it's only going to have more partnerships and applications of its utility over time. So that's why I'm so excited about Link in this portfolio. Of course, Ethereum, we talked about that a second ago. I basically bought 1 Ethereum for this portfolio. Near is another one of these. Remember, we're still in the crypto war games right now. We're still in the battle for the top L1s. And there's also different types of L1s with different types of communities around them that are favored by different geolocations. And Near is one of these protocols. It was kind of re-brought to my attention by Didi Taihutu. You don't know who he is. Let me go ahead and pull up his portfolio. Not his portfolio. Let me pull up, again, make sure you're giving me a follow here at Kelly Kellum. Make sure you're giving BitLab Academy a follow at Academy BitLab. And remember, come and retweet this. You're going to be entered to win on Friday. I'm going to announce tomorrow what the giveaway is. It's going to be a good giveaway. So come, all you have to do is retweet this, hit this like button, and you are automatically entered. But if we come over here, x.com, go to Didi Taihutu. He's a Bitcoin family. If you don't know who he is, Didi Taihutu right here. Him and his family decided to sell everything they own in like 2013 or 2014 or something and buy Bitcoin with it. And he's, just a huge voice in the space. I had him on for an interview here on BitLab. It's back on, if you come over here to BitLab Academy Twitter page or YouTube page, it's right here. Go to home. You can see it on this home page, right here. When to buy, most will lose 98%, 90%. It's in this daily alpha playlist on the BitLab YouTube. It's a lot of great information in here. It doesn't matter. This was filmed 5 months ago. He talks about so many great things you need to understand to really make it in this space. But when, thinking about Near is another one of those layer one smart contract platforms that has incredible tech, but also I think it's one of those projects that has kind of been under, I don't know what the word is, not underspoken about, but it's, I think I have a strong suspicion that this is going to have an explosive run in this next bull wave. Now, when we come over here and look at coinmarketcap.com, Near is it's all the way down here at number 31. So it's only, look at that, $2.8 billion market cap. So if we come back over here and look at Near, let's look at what the previous all-time high was. Zooming out over here, previous all-time high, this is daily, up here at $19. It's down here just under, $2.80. And again, I think this is one of those projects that has a community that's a little bit silent sleepers, not as vocal as some of the Cardano and XRP and Hex and Pulse Chain, but in some ways that's good. That means it's the fact that it's where it's at right now is based on merit in some capacity, but also they've been building in the background too. They have some very strong partnerships as well. So I have Near in there because I expect, and this is a thesis of mine, I expect that Near is going to eat up some of basically the rankings on this market cap. And what you'll notice is, in many cases, if you're buying coins that are further down this list, you're exposing yourself to more risk. But that also means you potentially could have more reward, which means you could have higher gains. But this is why it's so important to have a portfolio that is diversified with different types of assets, with different portions of allocation in your portfolio, but then also mitigates the amount of risk you take if one of them fails, if there's an exploit, if there's a hack, if there's a regulatory concern that drives it down. But Near, I think, has underperformed in the past, and I do expect that it's more likely than not that Near will eat its way up on this CoinMarketCap ranking, which means it's going to be outperforming other coins. Now, I also have TIA on there, but you'll see that here in a second. So Near, and the next one, SEI. SEI is one of those it's so hard to say, parallelized chain running on, I believe, Polkadot. Let me just double check. SEI. I just did so much crypto research this morning. Crypto. SEI, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. The native token of SEI network was designed to provide developers with the infrastructure needed to build efficient and secure decentralized exchanges. So decentralized exchanges, this niche, not just this token, but the niche of decentralized exchanges and the coins and tokens that are associated with them, like Uniswap, for instance, Jupiter, I think are going to have a huge impulse as well in this next bull market. It's going to outperform some other niches, or at least have their own little mini cycle for that specific niche because of this question of the error of centralized control. We saw the cascading failures with so many different centralized controlled institutions in the crypto space back in 2021, right? 2021, 2022. But then we also saw the cascading failures of US banks, some of the biggest banks in history, in March of last year. So centralized control is going to be one of those things, centralized institutions, and the ability to step outside that and have things that are decentralized, I think, is going to be a growing narrative over the next several years. So getting exposure to something that's within that, and of course I could get Uniswap, I could get some of these other ones, but I say is very strong in the narrative voice right now in the community, as well as it's made some huge strides, and it's got, it's a different niche from these other coins that we have here. Now remember, one of the other things I want you to notice about all of these coins, it seems like they're in the same niche, right? All layer ones. but they all have slightly different focuses. And Link is obviously different than these other three, but they have slightly different focuses, different types of communities, but they all have ecosystems. They have ecosystems building on top of them, which gives them more weight in the idea and the perspective of stability over time, because it's not something standalone outside by itself in the middle of the desert. No, it's got an entire, the roads, the buildings, different types of workforces. They have different types of things and communities building on top of those, which substantiates them also being potentially lower risk than something like SEI. Now, SEI, is within a niche Sal want exposure to, which is that decentralized exchange world. Now, they also got GRT. Again, this is something you have to be aware of when you listen to anybody on here talking about stuff. And I'm hoping that I can be as transparent as possible. And you guys let me know if I'm not. I'm trying to be transparent about how, why, and what when I'm showing you these different coins. And some of them I'm looking at based on, yes, I bought. Some of them are in a midterm downtrend. But I said, you know what? I'm doing a position buy. I'm buying these to hold over time. And I wanted to do this as if I wasn't an active professional trader. I wanted to show that we can look at things. Let me come over here, back over here to this right here. We can look at things like this. Altcoins market cap, boom. Alt season, alt season, alt season. This currently here. See this zone right here? There's a lot of chop in there. Some coins, even some of the coins I have in this new portfolio, this mid-risk, high gain potential altcoin stack. Some of those coins might drop 15 to 50% between now and the halving, or between now and when they really start pumping. But I'm looking at this from a beginner's view using a basic strategy, saying if we are here, then this small 20% drop is going to be irrelevant on this large gain. So I'm taking the noise out and saying, okay, if I'm looking at the big picture and I don't know all the TA to do active day trading and scalping, and I'm just saying, okay, I don't want to have to stare at my portfolio every 22 minutes with 47 alerts. And I just want to see what a portfolio can do if I broadly get some exposure to different types of assets and understand the market cycle. If I'm zooming out and I say we're here, then anywhere here was a good buy. Does that make sense? Also, we can look at this right here. So what do you see here? What you see here is market cap of all altcoins, excluding Bitcoin. And the last cycle, the Fibonacci trend peaked at 3.168. If the present cycles follow a similar trajectory, we could be looking at a staggering $7 trillion altcoin market cap. So this is where we're at right here. This is it right here. Does this mean we can't dip along the way? No, but we absolutely can. But when we're looking at this and we're just taking a position trade, we're also trying to reduce our stress, and we're getting broad exposure. Some of the coins in the next 2 weeks, over the next month, will likely drop. But I'm not going to capitulate out of them. I'm going to continue to put money into my dry powder account, which means not into the market, dry powder account. And then on a dip of some of these coins that may pull back, then I'll identify a level to, or a day. Maybe we'll just pick a day rather than a level, because we're not doing TA on these. Pick a day that we're going to allocate that over the next 2 months between now and the halving, stacking in between now and the halving. So throughout the week, as I'm collecting some extra dry capital, maybe I'm going to go out to eat, and I go, no, I'm not going to go out to eat. But you know what? I was going to spend $150 if I went out to eat. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that $150 that I was willing to spend. I'm going to put that in a dry powder, basically put that in a separate account, set it aside. And then on my weekly allocation day, I'm going to drop it into the coin that is the most down that week. Or, these are the types of things that we can do. We all have more money available to us than we realize if we cut back our lifestyle a little bit. Because I would rather not spend $150 on dinner right now, because if I look at what that would what that would cost if that was an asset and it appreciated over the next 2 years, then that means that meal may have cost me $3,500 or $5,000, because that allocation could have had it could have gone to work for me. So let's go to work for ourselves. Let's live a little bit more frugally right now. Let's figure out how we can free up capital to put it to work for us. That's what I'm trying to get out here. Whether you're a professional trader or not, we are in the zone right now. We are in the zone Jones. All of us need to be in the zone Jones and taking advantage of where we're at in the market and being able to understand that there's going to be volatility along the way. Cough every time I'm on here with you guys. So coming back over here, let's see what else we got in here. SEI, GRT. So GRT, we're talking about this AI narrative that's in the space. Let's come over here. Let's look at GRT, the graph. GRT, pull it up. This is number 48, quite low on in terms of what this coin does. I don't want to say I think of it like Chainlink. GRT is one of those projects that I think has a huge potential, but it's still quite risky because it all depends on whether or not it gets fully implemented or not. And it's the fact that its whole purpose is to index blockchains. Now that's boring. Who gives a shit about that? It's important because how do you navigate the internet every day? You navigate the internet every day because you're able to use search engines and browsers, which what are they? They are index aggregators. They index data on the internet so that you can find it. Now, when we have all these different types of altcoins and all these different types of blockchains and all these different types of utilities and services growing within the Web3 area, in the Web3 niche, as well as, different crypto projects, there's going to be different types of data stored on different types of blockchains that are going to need to be able to be like, okay, at some point, how do we tie this together? If we expect the crypto space to truly explode over time, we need the ability for index to be easily gathered and in a verifiable way and in a trustless way. So this is why we need to look at coins like Chainlink. This is why we need to look at coins like the Graph and figure out, does it fit in my thesis of wanting to make money over time? Now, of course, all the projects in the crypto ecosystem could have the potential of failing. But when I'm looking at safe plays or mitigating my risk, asymmetric opportunities, I'm looking at utility that broadly crosses over between not only blockchain, but also the real world, but also tying together this entire crypto ecosystem. So this is why I'm looking at Chainlink and the Graph. And the Graph also has some AI play into it as well. So it's these types of things, these types of considerations I look at when I'm asking, is this a coin I want? Is this something that's going to have utility that grows over time? Does this help adoption? These are the types of questions that we're asking ourselves when we're looking to coins. Now, when we scroll down here, come back onto the screen, we can see, look at this. Max supplies, it could still go up, but total supply currently 10.79 billion coins, and we're just under that right now, 9.39 billion. But what we're seeing here on this project is this huge run up that we had all the way back here in February 2021. And look at this right here. What is Bill Noble? We had him on the show many times. We'll be having him back on soon. He says, the longer the base, the higher the space, meaning when you have a consolidation, and if you zoom in on this, there was a lot of movement. Let's see like this. You zoom in, you see when you zoom in on these areas, there's a lot more volatility than it seems. But when we see like this on the macro, very stable across this 10 to 15 cent range. Very stable. And we have well-defined areas from previous price action that gives us ideas about likely stopping points along the way on the way up. And when we talk about what we just brought up a second ago about the potential utility that this provides the blockchain ecosystem, and we're talking about growing adoption, and we're talking about things that in some way tie also into a narrative that may have another explosion, which is AI. This is one of those projects, I was very excited to make sure it was reallocated back into. Now, some of the other ones that were in here, let's see, Near, we talked about Near. Ribbon Finance, this for me is, I do not recommend this to anybody. This is very far down on the coin market cap rankings, but it's a DeFi play. It's a DeFi play within the space. And if you want to look exactly what it is, decentralized platform that provides crypto traders with access to structured products that seek to drive yield. I think we're going to have some form of another DeFi boom. Now, I had two options to go here. And again, this is why I do not recommend this to you, but I'm sharing you, I'm being transparent, everything I have in here, because I'm looking for mitigating my risk and having, a well-structured portfolio with, even though this is a pretty risky portfolio without Bitcoin and without more Ethereum, I'm weighing it with things that have large ecosystems, and Ribbon is kind of a little bit of a flyer here, and it's a little misallocated as well. 1,500. I have more of this than I do HBAR, but remember, I also have a long-term portfolio, much larger, and so I'm willing to expose myself to a little bit more risk of somewhat newer DeFi play that, basically taking a long shot. Maybe this will perform very well. If we do get another DeFi boom and if we come back over here to Coin Market Cap, RBN, and by the way, everything I bought, I also forgot to tell you this, everything I bought is available on Coinbase. So I didn't go with all the obscure, no, everything I bought was available on Coinbase. So zoom out on this, let's go to all. And so launch, break down here, long base here. Look at this, all the way from $5, and we're down here at 45 cents. But interestingly, look at this. 1 billion total supply, circulating supply, it's a little over half. And it's a DeFi play. So this is why, if I had to cut any of these or recommend any of these coins that I have in this portfolio not to get, I'm not recommending that you get this token. I'm taking a little bit of a flyer in this portfolio. It's kind of like the highest risk play that I'm taking in there. And I just wanted to also show, this is, where is it at? Just have the number next to it to show you what rank it was. Let's go to crypto watch list. Ribbon. It's 187 market on the Coin Market Cap rankings. Only $241 million. And if we do get some form of another DeFi boom, then I expect this one will perform quite well. Now, the next one, I think they only have, HBAR. Couldn't not get HBAR. How come DSO is not on? HBAR, couldn't not get this. So I got another 1,500 of this, 20,000 coins. HBAR, Hedera hash graph. A lot of applications broadly in the space doing a protocol that does things a little different than a lot of the other layer one solutions. Strong partnerships, also something brewing with Algorand there. And so, I expect this one will perform quite well as well. If we come back over here, we scroll down. Where's HBAR? It's 30 something. Yeah, 37. So this has got a $2.5 billion market cap. And if we look at this, we could just look at this hillbilly TA, as Drew calls it. Boom. Let's go out to all. See, this got all the way up here into the 51 cents. It's down here at 7.5. But I expect this one will actually, I think this one will perform rather well. This is about almost 70% of the circulating supply is out. Okay. And the community on this is one of those very strong and growing communities in terms of people that are buying, holding, being vocal about it. Their team is excellent. So I think this was a smart play. And then, of course, TIA. Just smaller allocation, $1,000 allocation of this, 56 TIA. And TIA is one of those coins. It's in the narrative right now. I was kind of debating between putting TIA and Caspa in here, but I remembered I have the dry powder bag that I'm going to be stacking every week, and you don't have to get everything all at once. So I'm going to be stacking into those other coins that I don't have in here. I'm going to add to these protocols as well, depending on which ones are down. And if I want to add to Caspa and start allocating into that, then I can. So let me let me zoom back out over here. Let me look over at the live chat. Let's see. I love seeing how active everybody is in the chat. Shout out Mark Dutch, Fade and Traffi, maybe a Band-Aid, Ninja Fourth, everybody in here. By the way, if you're not a member yet, join, become a member. I think Alexander G will share the link there. But Join us here. Play with the emojis. I'm going to be doing more member streams as well for the BitLab members here on YouTube. If you're a BitLab member on the YouTube, as well as you'll also get this if you're in the BitLab Academy and the Discord, I'm going to be sharing different moves I'm making before they're made, and also charts and other stuff that you get access to when you're a BitLab member. So we'd love to have you. And I think we need 20 more now because some other people fell off. It changes every month. And then we'll get some more emojis. But I think that's all I got for you today. Before we go, let's go ahead and shout out 5 gifted memberships. You know what? I'm gonna give right now. Everybody stick around. I'm gonna give 10 memberships right now. So if one more person gives 5, I believe we will be at 20. We'll be able to do, I can add an emoji this evening. But every member out there, if you're watching right now, let me know what the next emoji should be, and I will make that this evening and add it if we get over that number. Let's see. Let's go ahead, do it. Gift memberships. Oops, that's not it. Got it. Cancel. How do you gift a membership? Not letting me. Live chat. I don't know. Won't let me. It's not giving me the option. The lab emoji. Oh, we already got, do we not have a lab emoji? Well, before we go, let's go ahead and do a little bit of TA. I just want to point to a couple things on here. Remember this chart right here, high block, is showing that we have, let's go ahead and refresh this just in case any things have changed. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Zooming out like here. We can see we got a huge amount of, we're coming up into a zone with a huge amount of liquidations right above us. Think of these as magnets coming up into that zone. If we are able to get through it, we may move quite quickly up to 45. If we get up and tap into this zone and can't get through it, we're just tapping this liquidity, clearing some of it, then we likely, if we reject from here and come back down, we're very likely going to be testing down here into this 41.5 area. If we lose 41.5, that's when I'm looking at getting down to that $38,000 level. Now, coming back here on the chart, let's zoom out on this. Let's go to Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, this is exactly what we were just talking about, that 45 level. And we have this zone right in here. This is that area that if we can't clear, it's funny how those liquidation levels line up with where a trend line is, right in the zone. We cannot clear this. And we're right at the trend signal line right here. This is on the daily chart. We did break out of this zone. If we do come back down, watch for a retest of this trend line right here. Shout out Falco, gifting 5 memberships. Big love to you. I appreciate you. And welcome all the new members. All the members that Alexandra got as well. I can't see where they at. Maybe a Band-Aid, Crypto, O'Breezy, Swashbuckle, and Scallywag, Atropine, Carlos Giles. And now on the new one, we got Simran, James V, or is that James 5? Ron, Anthony Vance. I can't read that. BG, what's up? Shout out to everybody, all the new members. But we see this is trying to break out, but we're being held in the zone. If we're able to push up in here, remember, I'm still watching this $45,000 level. If we do get rejected and come back down, if we get through this, watch for support here. If we reject here, watch for support on this trend line. If we lose that, then I am looking at coming down into this $38,000 level. Now, what are we looking at on Ethereum? Ethereum, look at this. Nice move to the upside right here on the 1 hour chart. Looking at Luxalgo, we came down to this zone. Look at this. Created the zone. Price action came back down, bounced on it, pushed up. Created the zone, came down, bounced on it, pushed up. So created the zone right here, came down, bounced on it, pushed up. Now, if we're looking at this on the BitLab trading stack, we can also see here, look at this, finding rejection on this trend line. Rejection, 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 finally, breakout. Now, we have the money flow flipped positive right here. This blue wave flipped positive right here. And what do we see? Plants are growing, baby. It's growing to the upside. Now we're getting a lot of high volume right here, high volume buying. Why do I say that? See this teal color? It's green, just regular candle color. And then teal, this is high volume candles. We also see down here on the BitLab, we see right here, these momentum waves right here, these bars turn green. There's a lot of underlying buying going on. We also see the volume here is ticking up. So this is actually looking pretty good. So the question is going to be, what is to come of it? Well, look at the area we're watching. this previous low range right here, which correlates with the previous high range right here. See high, high, high. So high, high, rejection, rejection, bounce, bounce, bounce. Now we're coming up into the zone. I don't expect we're going to slice right through it. I expect we'll have to do some work here before we can look at prices moving higher. But this is looking good. This makes me feel good that I bought some Ethereum this morning. Great making history with you on our spaces. Thank you for the alpha. Hey, thank you guys for having me on the spaces last night. You guys head over to Crypto Billy, Crypto Polio. Will you share the link to that spaces there in the chat so everybody can go listen? It was such a great conversation. It was about crypto and security, but it was so much more. We were talking about life, and there were so many great takes in there. Crypto Lifer was on there. I was on there. Miss Teen Crypto. Who else? I mean, there's so many different people. And a lot of the people that are here in the live chat right now were there listening and hanging out as well. I know Elliot Locke came on and spoke a bit as well. So big shout out there. Ethereum is making a move to the upside, but look at this. We do have this trend line right here. Broadening wedge. This is coming up, perfectly correlating with where this previous range was right in here. So let's watch at this level. Can we get over 2430? We cannot. Doesn't mean things are over, but let's watch for a little bit of a cool off. On a pullback from here, how far down does it come? Does it come down into this zone right here, this 382 right here, which is also correlating with where this rejected and where this had a little bit of a hiccup? That's what we want to pay attention to. Now, if we come back out of here, look at Cardano, also making a move up. This is on the 2 hour. Let's go to this. Let's go to the BitLab Trading Stack. Now, look at this. Came down, formed an order block, came back down, bounced, pushed up. Where did it reject at? Previous order block. Where'd it come down to? Boom, previous range right here. Now it's had a little bit of a move down. Cardano doesn't look as good. If we can close this candle like this, then we have a bullish engulfing candle, which starts to show the reversal of a trend. Because we have bearish narrative, and then the bulls ate this all the way back up into a larger candle. We swallowed this candle with the size of this one. If this closes this way, we still have 15 minutes on this candle, but this is looking good with the caveat that we have not yet cleared this weekly VWAP, this yellow line right here. We have not yet cleared this or this trend signal line, which all is bunched up together right in here. So if we want to see Cardano moving up, and it's looking like it's trying to make the move, is this a liquidity washout to the downside only to come back up and then launch from here? Maybe so, but what other line do we need to pay attention to? Well, we do have a trend line from here to here, as well as all of this work right in here. So until we break out from here, there's nothing to be said about this potentially being bullish yet, other than a liquidity test to the downside, testing the bulls' strength to the upside. And if the bears suppress us back down, this is likely still needing to do some work, potentially even testing down into this order block down here at 45. And again, I layered in this morning on Cardano. I could care less if this drops more. It means if it drops more between now and next week when I'm going to allocate again, that means I can lower my average entry. Remember, I am taking the position trade here, not caring about the wicks before this large move. Taking the position trade here to capture this, capture whatever is going to come here, not worried about the small movement along the way. So everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. 172 people in here. It doesn't show me how many likes we have. I don't know why, but everybody hit that like button. If you learned anything today, if you saw a coin you like today, if you want more, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, get involved in our community. Head over to bitlabacademy.com and where we teach all this stuff. We have broken down courses with individual, 7 to 15 minute length, individual lessons on each topic, each candle pattern, whole on-chain data analysis course with every chart being its own lesson, trading strategies. And we're about to add another strategy in here. We filmed a strategy yesterday with Josh, indicators, all this. And when you buy through this button right here, you get access to this as well as the BitLab Discord, where we're sharing charts and breakdowns and setups. And you get access to Tim, TA Tim, as well as Joshua Jake, as well as myself, Kelly Alpha here, sharing exactly what's going on, and so much more. We have a huge initiative that's coming to the Discord very soon. It's going to incentivize engagement, and you'll be able to trade in those points for a lot of different stuff within the community, as well as other prizes, as well as community gatherings and poker tournaments. There's a lot that we're going to be doing here. But if you want the super secret promo that we're doing for Josh, but I'm sharing with you guys too because I love you all. You can sign up here and try the BitLab Discord for 30 days for free. For free. Costs you nothing, no risk. You can cancel anytime. Free. And then if you sign up for that, immediately after you sign up, you'll see an option to upgrade to our indicators and to all the course access for a cheaper price than we've ever offered. And that's the only way you'll be able to get that price is if you go through this link right there. So use it while it's up because this is only going to be up for 7 more days. So get in there, get involved, and remember to check your emails if you do sign up. Instructions to connect your Discord and how to get everything integrated with the indicators and everything is all in there. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you do your crypto taxes through crypto.tax/hit. Make sure you stay ahead of the curve. Don't wait until April 15th to get your crypto taxes done. Get it done now. If you need to pull money out to cover your gains from last year, it's better to do it now than when the market's, but it's better to be ahead of the market is the whole point here. Take care of your taxes. Decrypted.tax/hit. And with that, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Drop your comments down below. What coins did I miss? What coins should I be stacking into? Which coin did you hate that I have in there? I love you guys. I appreciate you. That's all I got. Over and out. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker. Yeah.